What happens when there isn't enough power and you can't move the power you do have to where you need it? That's a situation the grid is walking into right now. Electricity demand isn't growing gradually anymore. It's stepping up in blocks, big blocks, driven by AI, data centers, electrification, and extreme weather. And the system that's supposed to deliver that power simply can't respond fast enough. Make no mistake, we do have an electricity generation problem. But just as importantly, we have a delivery problem. Because even when power exists, transmission, that's the process of moving electricity from where it's generated to where it's used, is slow, congested, and years behind where demand is headed. And that mismatch shows up in the real world as higher prices, reliability risk, and outages that feel increasingly normal. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Why transmission has become a growing driver of higher cost and blackout risk, and what organizations can do to protect themselves. If you want straight talk about energy, not talking points, hit like, subscribe, turn on alerts. Now let's get into this. When we talk about transmission, we're talking about the big stuff. Those tall steel towers you see stretching across fields and along highways, carrying high voltage electricity hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles. Transmission lines move power from large power plants to substations. From there, a different system takes over, distribution. That's the lower voltage wires that run from substations to your businesses, schools, hospitals, and homes. Transmission is the long-distance delivery system of the grid, and it's one of the slowest, most constrained parts of the entire system. New transmission lines take 7 to 12 years to plan, permit, and build, and that's when everything goes right. In the meantime, electricity demand is growing now. AI data centers are coming online now. Electrification is accelerating right now. But transmission, it can't keep up. That mismatch shows up in the real world as congestion charges that push electricity prices higher, power that's stranded far from where it's needed, over-reliance on aging power plants, and higher outage risk during peak demand events. The grid simply wasn't designed for this pace or this geography of demand growth. And I wouldn't call this a political failure. It's a physical one. Transmission requires right-of-way, multi-state coordination, environmental review, and local acceptance. So even if everyone agreed tomorrow, the timelines don't really change. So waiting for transmission to catch up isn't a plan. It's a long odds gamble. This is exactly why Next-Gen Clean Energy Solutions focuses on local, behind-the-meter energy strategies. Instead of betting on long-distance transmission, Next-Gen helps organizations deploy solar, battery storage, and microgrids where power is actually used. That approach, well, it reduces exposure to congestion costs, it improves reliability, and delivers energy certainty without waiting a decade. This isn't about replacing the grid. It's about a choice, continuing to rely on a system under growing strain, or invest in clean energy that lowers cost and protects against the outages that are becoming harder to ignore. You can learn more by emailing to info@nextgencleanenergy.com. So what matters now is how organizations are responding in the real world. Instead of relying more heavily on long-distance transmission, they're actually shifting towards generating power where it's actually used. That shift is to on-site behind-the-meter clean energy generation. And that serves on-site electrical loads first. It also reduces peak demand on transmission, it avoids congestion pricing, and keeps power available during grid stress. Battery storage, that adds flexibility, absorbing volatility instead of amplifying it. Microgrids turn energy into infrastructure, not a single point of failure. This isn't theoretical. It's how critical facilities are already protecting themselves. Transmission certainly matters, but it can't be the only answer. The fastest, most reliable way to deal with transmission constraints isn't to fight them, it's to design around them. Local power doesn't fix everything, but it does solve the electricity problem for the organizations that deploy it, lowering costs while easing strain on an already overburdened grid. And in today's system, that's not optional, it's strategic. We'll catch you next time.